Wednesday, October 15th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. The last time I did my report market analysis was on Thursday afternoon last week. I was out of town Friday and the first couple of days of this week. This is Wednesday, again, the 15th of October. It so happens that just a little while after I left the office on Friday morning of last week, the market took a big decline and in some cases provided some whopping big bearish engulfing ER sell signals. Not on the E-mini. We're looking at the micro E-mini MES, but yesterday it had a signal that wasn't good. We had a higher high today. But again, these signals are not always the highest high or lowest low. They are frequently involved in topping out or in green bottoming out markets. I still look for lower levels. I don't think that this is the October low on October 10th, Friday. All of the indexes have so far their lowest low for the break in one whopping big down day, October 10th. And it is the lowest level for the month of October. And for the most part, it is the lowest low for most of, if not all of September as well. So it could barely qualify for the October lows, in my opinion, but I don't think that's going to be it. I am thinking and expecting to see lows lower than October 10th lows. Next, the MES 15-minute to give you a perspective of how much damage the break had on that Friday, October 10th. We dropped below the lows of all days going back to September 8th for the MES. I still think we're going to see lower lows. I'll go back to the daily chart again. My downside expectation, frankly, is in the ballpark of 6,300. So another day like last Friday, or even bigger, would qualify, in my opinion, for the October low expectation in a general sense for the indexes overall. What about the spider? Wow. I have not seen, nor I can remember, four bearish engulfing ER sell signals, including the historic high day on Friday, October 10th, in the last, what has it been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Four of them have been bearish engulfing ER sell signals. The top of the market still is the bearish engulfing October 10th. So far, so good. Maybe this week we will see, because it's going to happen fast, like I've said, way before Friday, October 10th, that the market could have a very big sharp down day, and I expect more, frankly. Look at the 15-minute chart. Wham! All the way down to here. Blew out some support, not by much, and it did pop back, but sorry, I can't make a bull case here. I'm still thinking lower levels. And we have the bearish engulfing QQQ on the top of the market October 10th. So far, we have not been able to make new highs, which would cancel out that bearish engulfing sell signal, ER sell signal. Looking for lower levels. Frankly, 560 down to 550. Next, lots of damage done, but not quite as much in the QQQ as in the SPY, for example. And here we have the NASDAQ futures. Unfortunately, we didn't get a bearish engulfing on Friday, October 10th. Came very close. But we have had three of them in the last approximate week and a half or so. I am looking for a move down to approximately 23,054, and maybe even lower. NASDAQ futures, NQ. Next is the 15-minute. A lot of damage done, a lot of lows broken. YM. Strangely enough, totally unexpected and very weird that I would get a buy signal yesterday, which I think is going to fail because it's the only index to have a buy signal among a whole mess of sell signals in the other indexes in the last couple of weeks. So I don't think this is going to work, but there it is. And it qualifies all the criteria there. So I don't trust it. And I'm looking for lower levels in the YM also, and probably down to 43, 45, 43, 457. And here is the damage done on Friday. Almost new lows for most of September or all of September, but not quite. Almost broke those two lows back there, but not quite. So I think it's still coming. Next, we've got not historic. We've got new highs for quite a long time in the Russell, but up against the top of this resistance area I've been talking about since August. So it finally got there. Hasn't been able to close above the top, and I think it's a prime target to start to work lower again. And here's the 5-minute chart. It's very much different than the others. New highs, new high closes, looking strong all by itself. Don't think that's going to happen. Bonds have popped up all the way up to the highs that were made on September 17th. Possible double top, and that was yesterday, and today is about the same with a slightly lower close. Overbought conditions, possible double top, too early to tell. We need to close below the last significant low, below 115.23-ish. And then we would be dropping off to where I think we're still going to get down to 112, 113 flat area. Notes, same thing, up against some resistance, previous highs. Not quite what I would call a double top, but if we break below 112.05, downside objective would be significantly lower. No major bear market, no huge decline, just a fairly large correction, I expect. Crude oil, the last couple of days, new lows, broke out of the down to the downside from the support area on October 10th and has stayed under now resistance. Previous support, when broken and closed below, becomes resistance on rallies. Standard procedure. So, having done that, I'm still looking for lower levels, maybe even all the way down to below 52, 50, 52 area. Next, we have a bearish engulfing a few days ago in natural gas. October 8th, I was here, told you about it, and it's been down, I believe, almost every single day since, and it has made a new low for the trend down. You remember, this is a complex head and shoulder top. The downside breakout was on June 25th. My downside objective is currently at about a little under 1.6, and it's making new lows, looking for a lot lower still. We're about halfway down to the objective. And it's been since late June since it broke out. So it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 months or so. Heating oil, holding support on a closing basis. But we did make a lower low. It is a new low close, but not below previous. It is below the bottom of the pennant, but still at a little bit of support. One more modest day down, and we'll be below all support and probably sliding more. Next big support area is all the way down to here. So I'm looking for a test of 2.03-ish and a bit lower. This kind of looks like a flat bottom right triangle or very close to it. The bottom is slightly upward slanted. Next, gold, very overbought lately and for quite a long time period, unexpectedly steadily strong. I think it's going to top out at any time, and if I've stopped people from buying and making money in the last couple of weeks, I'm sorry about that, but I have to tell you what my experience for 53 years has taught me. Don't buy it. It could open a lot lower and drop like a rock under these kinds of technical conditions. This is very much looking parabolic, which is the same thing as a blow-off top. Silver, very, very similar. In fact, so I think it's extremely dangerous to be going long at these levels, looking for a top. Platinum, flattening out here for the last week or so. No signals, a little premature on September 30th, waiting for it to roll over, starting to head down. I'm expecting no major evidence of that yet. Copper has had a very good rally, got very overbought, and finally seems to be starting to head its way down the last few days. While I was gone, again from Friday morning, I only watched the market for less than an hour last Friday, just before the the crash happened. And I was gone on Monday and Tuesday. So I watched and analyzed and brought myself up to date today. High grade copper, probably going to go all the way back down to these lows. Soybeans and grain, trying to bottom out. We got a bullish engulfing that's still in effect. We've had an initial rally, a retracement, and now I think we're ready to start heading back up again, waiting for a new signal, neutral to bullish at the moment. We're testing the bear trend line in soybean oil, the top of a downward sliding channel. We bounced off support. I think the soybean oil is prime target to start to make highs above 51.60 very soon, breaking a bear trend line, breaking out of a downward channel as well. Next, we got a little higher close on soybean meal, flattening out the last couple, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and trying to bottom out. Remember, the longer term picture in grains, I'm trying to justify, except for wheat, major bottoms. And here's corn. Nice little bounce today. Support is held off of a previous low, and I'll put a little support line right there. That's good. And I could do another one right in here, but I'll pass on it for the moment. Looking for higher levels. Need to break this trend line. Need to break that line. Next, wheat. Other than oversold, no hope. So much resistance above. It's crazy. Trending lower forever since the beginning of the war, which, looks like it may be over. And wheat could start going back up again. I just don't have any signals yet. What about our 4 stocks? Apple popped back up after breaking out to the downside, closing one of the gaps I've been talking about for quite a while. So that gap is now finished, done, closed. There is a small one down here. We didn't really bounce off support that close, but came close, not close enough. Still looking for a little bit lower levels on Apple. We have a bearish engulfing ER sell signal on the very high day of Tesla a couple of weeks ago. I think we're still going to be heading lower to close gaps. There's one of them. There's another one. There's another one down here. I think we're going to be going down to about 370 and a bit lower soon. We also have a bearish engulfing ER sell signal on the very high day on NVIDIA. And another one today. Can I use the phrase a nail in the coffin? Well, sort of. No guarantees, of course. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and hypothetical returns have some inherent limitations. Thank you, NFA. So I'm looking for lower levels. And woo, 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 woo. And, well, come on, stick. There we go. At least 170.75 to 164.10, and it could be significantly lower than that. Lastly, we've got AMD, a relatively newcomer to my research. Minor double top possible, overbought conditions, don't trust the strength, looking for it to break down. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.